if you don't know what's going on here, and you just popped on, I'm going to be going over full moon cord cutting rituals to release energetic ties to things within this life as well as in other lives. Many of you know that I do past life regression work, and I do a lot with kind of healing those timelines between us in our current life and those other lives that we have carried out, or if we want to think in a quantum sense, are carrying out. So I am so glad to have everyone here. Hello everybody, I can see I'm like psh, 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 psh. So that's what we're doing here. I'm going to be going over some rituals that we can use tonight. Now I will admit that the energy is so extremely high, and on full moons I'm like amped up 100%. My heart and my body, I can feel it just pulsating. So we'll see how we get through this together. We'll do it together. I even brought out the ring light for this moment because I didn't want it to be too dark for everybody. Hello over there on Facebook land. I see you popping on. Hello. Can't wait for you to tell some of the stories from my regression. I was looking through them. So some of you have had a regression with me and you're on here now, so you know what I'm talking about when you are connected energetically to a past traumatic event that might have taken place in another life. And some of you that this might be a little bit new to, we do have energetic connections to things that we have not fully healed, understood, or integrated that span in other lifetimes. So that can be in the past, that can also be in the future. So some of you have had past lives, but when you have your regression with me, you can see future lives, or you've seen past lives, and I see some of you popping on that have had regressions with me, so you know what I'm talking about. I really, I'm just going to kind of open this up now. It's 8 o'clock, so the reason why I'm popping on here tonight is because I do want to give everyone that wants it tools in order to manifest what they want using this powerful full moon. Not only that, but it's a super moon. I want you to have manifestation tools as well as cord cutting tools to be able to release things that aren't working for you anymore, and to be able to attract things that you want to happen in your life. So I'm going to give you those tools. If you have a piece of paper and a pen and a journal, anything that allows you to write down this information, hello, hi Drew, will allow you to be able to take these notes so that you can use these tools right after, or you can even do it while we're talking about this. But I just wanted to provide this. A friend came to me and she was kind of, wanting a cord cutting ritual meditation. And I was like, well, this is more of like something you do when you're like not in a meditation. So it dawned on me. I was like, why don't I just do a little video, an IG live and a Facebook live that would give you guys these tools in order to be able to do it for yourself. So that's why we're here. I won't say their name, but I know that they are on. And I just want to say thank you for inspiring this, and it's because of this one person that I popped on here at the last minute tonight. So, that said, the full moon is a very powerful time for cutting ties with things that no longer work for you. Now, a lot of you are experiencing relationships that, and not just like in romantic sense, but relationships with friends or family or jobs or things, right? Relationships all across the board. You're experiencing these relationships that aren't working for you anymore. And it's really difficult because some of you have spent so long in the same norm of that replay, of just going through what feels normal without questioning it. But knowing that something inside is not feeling correctly in alignment with who you are now. And that's the thing we have to remember. It doesn't matter what happened in the past, because it matters where you are at in this present time and in this present moment, right? And that's really where you're going to get the answers, where you're going to get the healing. And so at this present time, I want to give you the tools and give you that power that you can be able to cut the cords with those things that don't work for you anymore. And this, again, could be relationships with jobs, because we are in a very powerful point where we're sitting there at home, right? And we're like, we don't want to go back to that job. We don't want to go back to that job. Wait, we can do it from home. We're good here, right? And then you're seeing that your creative side is really coming out and coming forward. You're being able to create and manifest the things that you've always wanted to put energy towards but never had the chance to, right? But at the same time that these things of your creative self is coming forward, the dark shadow starts coming forward as well, right? So your shadow, which is the mirror of you, is now following you around your home as you're forced to stay inside. You can't really escape your mirror. Your mirror will follow you around. Now it's up to you whether or not you're going to look at it. It's up to you whether or not you're going to take the time to say, okay, I'm going to sit down with you. I'm going to look at what you're teaching me. I'm going to listen to you because you keep following me around. And if you keep following me around, it must mean that you too love me. But how can you love me when this is so scary? When this is so uncertain? When there's death happening outside? When it's shaking my entire foundation? How can this be love? And that's the whole thing, is that it too is showing you an aspect of yourself that wants to be healed or wants to be looked at. And what is 2020? Clear vision, clear seeing, right? So this is the opportunity for us to be able to look clearly at ourselves. But are we doing that? Are we taking the time to do that? Do you notice how this process is taking a very long time? Oh, 2 weeks. Well, that turned into a month. Well, that could turn into a few months. Why do you think that is? Because that mirror will not allow you to overlook it and miss the opportunity for you to be able to see your true, authentic self and let that come forward. And for some of us, that means we have to face the dark parts of ourselves that we did not want to acknowledge. But those dark parts of ourselves are so important because they taught you how to get to where you are right now. They taught you what you wanted, didn't it? Because that other stuff doesn't feel good anymore, does it? It might have served you at some point. You might have really enjoyed that at some point. But does it right now? No, it doesn't. So, it too loves us because it is allowing us to make a conscious decision of the direction we want to go, of the things that we want to create. So you could say that this entire experience is out of love. But how can that be? There's so much death. There's so much pain. There's so much loss. I'm not making the money I was. So what is it teaching you? What is it asking you to see within yourself about those belief systems? That's all you have to do. You just have to ask yourself the question, what is this experience teaching me? Because I'll tell you what, the more fear that I see coming forward, the more love people are moving towards. That fear that's arising within you, that starts to become overwhelming, that we don't want to look at, is actually pushing us in the direction of love. Aren't we connecting more? Aren't we reaching out to our families more? Aren't we sharing our gifts, our talents? Music has never been so accessible than it is right now. Even media companies are putting out shows and programs for us to watch before. Everybody's doing something to try to figure it out. And guess what? We're all trying to figure it out together. And that's the most incredible thing. Some of the strongest experiences come out of a place of turmoil, don't they? So this beginning introduction that I just went over was more of a message that was coming through for me from my higher guidance and the beings that I work with. And that really needed to come forward right now to kind of reset the mindset. Reset the mindset. Level the playing ground. Because from this neutral point that we are at, we can be able to create and manifest. And from this neutral point that we are at, we can let go and cord cut those things that don't work for us anymore. Okay? So now I want to bring it back to what we're doing here. We tend to replay stories of our past. We tend to replay stories of our linear past, of this experience of when we were kids, or when we were bullied, or the way that jobs taught us certain things, or treated us, let us go, whatever the thing is. But it's important that we take the control back when we think that something is so out of control, but it's not. Because it is within us, and it is within our control that we take back that power. And the way you do that is by saying, I'm in control. I'm going to rewrite this story. I'm not a victim. This was a learning lesson to something. But again, you ask yourself, what is it teaching me? So this is a time to stop replaying old stories. Now you can if you want to, but you wouldn't be listening to this right now if you really wanted to do that. You're ready for more, aren't you? Your heart wants more. Your soul wants more. And every time you feel out of alignment or dis-ease, that is your soul saying, doesn't work for you anymore, does it? You want more, don't you? But what does that look like to you? Because that looks different to everybody. So it's time to flip that script and make a new one. And I'm telling you, you can create that for yourself. Alright? So I do want to touch on this. I was looking through my moon deck today, because the full moon. And I pulled out the supermoon card, and guess what? I'll put it over there too. But it's it says attraction. Attraction. That supermoon is so strong that it is attracting everything. Both polarities. Negative, positive, and everything in between. So now you ask yourself, well, if that's true, if it's true, what do I want to attract to me? What do I want in my life? Because if I can attract all things, and I can attract negative experiences, and I can attract nothing by doing nothing, but I can attract the most beautiful experiences possible, what do I want to attract? And what I also noticed about this card is that it's number 44. That 44, the number 4, is the number of stability, trust, foundations, the home. The home. When we add up that 4 and that 4, that equals an 8. What's tomorrow? It's the 8. It's the 8, the vibration of prosperity, of business, of creativity, of authority, of our own experiences. So is it any chance that this happens to be a number 8 as we're doing this tonight, and tomorrow is that number 8? I don't think so. Is there a chance that today's a 7, and this is a powerful day for cord cutting and manifesting? A 7, which is the number of spirituality, introspection, privacy, intuition. I'm going to put this with little Archangel Raphael over here. Thank you. Thank you so much. Alright, you guys. So, what I want to go over is cord cutting. Cord cutting, cord cutting, cord cutting. Now, I'm going to give you some tools that will allow you to cut energetic ties with things from the past. Again, I'm going to repeat this. You are cutting ties with things that are both in the linear past of your life experience, of the things that you've taken on or experienced, but you are also letting go of things multidimensionally. Meaning, in other lifetimes that you have lived, you have carried out similar themes that you are carrying out now. So the traumas, the upsets, the uncertainty, the confusion that some may be feeling at this time or at any time. Well, there's another version of you in another reality or multiple realities that are also going through a similar thing. This is how guides can also work. They step in to help you with those themes because it also is helping them on their own journey. It is also helping them heal what they need to heal and understand what they need to understand. I have huge waves of energy coming through my body right now, so that was a big message for you guys to hear this. That's my signal when they really want you to hear something. I'll get a wave down the back side of my head all the way down my body, just letting you know. So, sometimes from a past life, we can carry the residue or the traumatic imprints of what has happened in a past life into this current life we have now. that's where you see yourself having cycles, and you seem to not be able to break those cycles. You seem to be making the same choices. You're choosing the same person in a different body over and over and over again, yet you can't seem to understand why. You can't seem to stop bowing down before someone in your life, even though they treat you so poorly. But you can't seem to figure out why. Well, I can assure you that your soul is carrying out another life theme which also reflects the experience that you are having right now at this time. So in a way you can say, wow, I'm not in this alone. There are other me's who are experiencing a heartbreak, who are experiencing guilt, who are experiencing loss, pain, but who are also experiencing great amounts of joy, prosperity, abundance of love, of health, of wealth, and in all areas of their lives. It goes both ways. And just remember, all things will pass. The ebb and the flow, the cycles. So whatever you might be experiencing right now that you want to let go so bad of, just know that this ebb, this restriction that you feel, will soon be met with a flow beyond your wildest imagination. Because you're choosing to move through this experience, to feel those things, to see yourself, to love yourself more. And that's what it's all about. Love is the force that drives literally everything. Even the darkest things are driven with love, if we want to see them. But that's up to us. So now I want to take the time that we understand that sometimes the traumas we're experiencing in this current lifetime aren't from this lifetime. They are from other lifetimes that we live, or that we have lived or will live in the quantum universe. We can break ties with that, because everything is an agreement. I agree to this. I disagree to that. It is this or that. It's just like when I was a kid and people said a lot of stuff about me, bullied me, whatever, it doesn't matter. Guess what? I agreed with them. I agreed with what they had to say about me, and that became my truth because I agreed. You know, when you're a kid and you love yourself so much, you love life. You're experiencing everything. You're in love with all things. And then you start to go through the karmic wheel of adolescence and school. And in that school, you see how people can be mean. Well, it's up to you whether or not you choose. So a download came through that we have to learn to go from a space of full unconditional love to unloving ourselves so that we can find our way back into unconditional love of ourselves. So this is all a part of the process of healing and letting go, understanding. This is all a part of the process, and I can see that. Even the darkest things are driven by love. Thank you. So now we take the time to go, what is it that I need to cut energetic cords with? Well, how am I supposed to know what happened in a past life if I don't see it? You don't have to. You can look at the experiences that you're having at this time. Let's say you're going through a breakup after 20 years. 20 years you've been with this person. You're married, and all of a sudden this is the time that it decides that it's no longer working for you. But you can't seem to get over it. You can't seem to get out of that depression. You can't seem to heal. You can't seem to be happy. And all along, it's in the middle of a pandemic. Wow, that's a real kicker, universe. But what I see is that it is showing you how strong you actually are. That you can go through such a traumatic experience and be in the middle of a world pandemic. That's how strong you are. That's how powerful you are. That you are given the opportunity to show yourself how powerful, how strong, and how beautiful and loving you really are. And I would say that you're matched up to that test. I would say that you're doing a pretty damn good job of it, wouldn't you? You're still here. And you're only getting stronger. So whatever those things are that you have in your life right now, that you're like, these things just don't work for me anymore. I need to let them go. I've been crying. I want to release this. This is the time to do it. This is a powerful gateway. This super moon is very close to us. Not only that, it's a pink moon. Pink, the color of unconditional love. So let's use this time to be able to cut ties with those things that don't serve us. And when it comes to those past lives or other lives that we are living, that we're holding that energetic imprint of, we simply say, I cut ties or agreements I may have made in all directions of time. I'll say that again. I cut ties or agreements I may have made in all directions of time and space. Now you can word this any way that you want to, whatever feels right for you, because the feeling about this is what is most important, is that you feel the energy of that. Feel the energy of that. And you say it again, and you say it again, and you say it again, until you feel so in your power that you can feel the hair stand up on your skin. Till you can feel like you're like, I just reclaimed that shit. So say it again and say it again. I cut ties with any past agreements. And you can add in the little blank. Agreements with what? Agreements with self-servitude. I cut ties with agreements that I may have made in all directions of time and space of servitude to another person. That no longer serves me and who I am in this present moment. And I agree to more. And you can use that little phrasing for any area of your life. Any area of your life. What? You feel ugly? You feel unpretty? Because of what is projected out on social medias or what we see on TV? Well, guess what? Let's cut ties with that. I cut cords in all directions of time and space with any agreements I may have made about feeling ugly or unpretty. You can use that for everything. And then you finish that with, it is done. It is done. And feel it. Feel it tonight. This is your night. Okay? This is your night. Now you can use that in all areas. Now that we cut the cords with things, what do we do next? We manifest the F out of what we want. How do we do that? Everything that you want in your life, you say it as if it is already completed. You might have heard this. You say it as if it is already done. Do you know why you say that? Because the thought of it, your body having the physical experience and then the non-physical part of you doesn't know the difference. If you were to close your eyes, take a deep breath, exhale, and just think about that one main thing that you want to achieve. A record deal, a perfect role, a beautiful house, traveling to Egypt, sitting by the ocean. Doesn't that feel really good? That is the key to already having it. It is all about your energy and your consciousness and where you are directing that energy and that consciousness. It is the feeling that sends out the signal to attract the things that you want. The feeling. Yeah, but I know that I want that, but my mind is blocking it because I don't think I deserve it. I cut ties with anything that I've ever agreed with about not deserving things. You have to send out the feeling from your heart. It is a balance between the lower energy centers and the upper energy centers. Those that govern the physical world and those that govern the non-physical world. But what is right in the middle? It's the bridge. The bridge to both things. It isn't this or this. You must be connected both to earth and to the sky. You must be in balance. You must be both masculine and feminine. You must be both polarities all at once in tandem. And when you send out that signal of, I know what is here for me, and you send out that signal of, man, I let go of all that stuff and I trust the hell out of myself. Well, that sounds like it's in coherence to me, right? Sending out the signal from your heart. This signal is 100 times stronger than this signal. This isn't something just made up. Everybody wants to think that spirituality and science are separate. They are the same thing. And just like you, we all have physical and non-physical aspects of ourselves. It is about understanding those two things, blending them together, and letting that duality create, that balance create. So, manifesting. What do we say? I want you to make a list of all the things that you want as if you already have them. So when you make this list, I want you to title it Super Full Moon or Super Full Pink Moon, whatever you want. Date it. And I want you to write down the list. Now listen, do not limit yourself. Be limitless. There is no ceiling. What do you want? And make sure it serves your soul. Do you want that role? Do you want that record contract? What do you want? You want love, you want a relationship, you want to travel. You say, I am with the most perfect partner who is vibrationally resonant with me. I am traveling the world and seeing every single place I have ever wanted to see. Doesn't that even feel good thinking about it? I have a record deal with the most amazing team behind my back. My family is healthy. I am healthy. I have all the things that I have ever wanted in my life. At one point in my life, I have all of those things. And I am getting more. I am receiving more. I have all the money I could ever have in the world, and I am only attracting more. Now, when you hear that and you hear me say that, doesn't that feel really good? Doesn't that light your heart up? Doesn't that make your skin go, yes, you can see those things that you want in your mind, can't you? That's what you want. And you're within one of the biggest tests you could ever have. I feel like I'm at a standstill. We're in a world pandemic. How am I supposed to create? How everything was going this way and now it's not. Reframe it. You create what's going to happen next. We create what's going to happen next. And we do it together. So what do you want to manifest? We hear that word. It sounds a little cliche now, doesn't it? Everybody says it. Manifest. But you came into this earth plane as a creator, right? It doesn't matter what you want to create. It just matters that you do it. Because that's what you came here to do. To create, to manifest, to build, and to enjoy it. To enjoy it. And anything that doesn't feel good to you is only pushing you in the direction of those things that you want to manifest, that you want to create. That is all it's doing. And I'm sitting here because I want that for all of you, and you wouldn't be listening to this if you didn't want it for yourself. And I'm telling you that you can have it. So what do we need to let go of tonight? What do we need to release? What do we need to send away with love? Because remember this key, that thing too also loves you. It also loves you. It said, I'm going to play the villain and I'm going to be the bad guy so that you can choose what you want to create, where you want to go. But that's up to you to want that. But I'll do my part. And I love you. So integrate me. Look at me. I love you. Look at me. And when you look at it, and you allow yourself to see it, and you say, I love you too. Thank you for teaching me where I want to go and what I want for myself. Thank you for being my teacher. And with so much love, I send you out back into the light, and I make a new agreement. Send it back into the light because it always loved you enough to bring you to this point where you want more. It's my first time doing this. I didn't know how it would go. But I want to tell you, it's all your energy. It's whatever the collective energy is that is involved with this experience that is bringing this information forward. That's why you're listening. That's why you're here. So if you're going to walk away with anything that we've gone over tonight, I want you to ask yourself, what aspects of myself, write this down, what aspects of myself do I need to heal? What aspects of myself do I need to love? But the biggest part of that is you have to be willing to receive the love. You have to be willing to say, I welcome that love into my life. I welcome that healing into my life. The pain no longer works for me. The self-torment no longer works for me. Good for you. Time to release it. I cut cords with anything in all directions, space and time that no longer serve me and who I am at this present moment. I make new agreements. And then you write that list. I am, I have, it is done. And then you read it out loud before you go to bed. And you clear your energy and you bring in the light around you. And you watch how you wake up in the morning. Watch how you wake up in the morning after doing this. This has been a very beautiful opportunity for me to share what I do with my clients and with my friends and with my family, but with you. And I thank you so much for tuning in to this transmission. I thank you so much for being a part of the transmission, because without you watching, it wouldn't have been what it was. I truly hope that you took something from this, and even if you don't do the ritual itself, you can be assured you received exactly what you were supposed to. And all the other stuff, let it fly into the wind. Let it wash away with the rain. Just make sure you're always attracting and creating what you want for yourself in this life. I have so much love for all of you because you just gave me so much love back. Thank you so much. I will take a few questions if anybody has a question. I will look at this little thing. Even if you already said it, you might have to ask it again because I don't know I can scan up. But I truly thank you, and I truly thank my angels and my guides for stepping forward and helping me to give this to you. So it's ritual time, baby. That's what I want to hear.